If you were to place a drop of purple food coloring into a beaker full of water, you would be able to see the dye spread out and mix with the water over time. Eventually, without even stirring, the dye and water would be thoroughly mixed to form a light purple color. This occurs because the atoms and molecules that make up all matter are constantly in motion, bumping into each other and spreading out into the available space like balloons released into the sky. Over time, the particles spread out and become evenly dispersed. This process is called diffusion. Diffusion always flows in the same direction, from an area of high concentration, where there are a lot of particles, to an area of low concentration, where there are fewer particles. Once the particles are evenly distributed, they do not stop moving, but rather continue to move equally in all directions, a state known as dynamic equilibrium. Water is such an important molecule to life that it gets its own name for the process of diffusion. The diffusion of water is called osmosis. As in diffusion, osmosis always flows in the same direction, from an area of high concentration, where there is a lot of water molecules, to an area of low concentration of water molecules. Most cells live in an environment where the concentration of water and other chemicals is the same inside and outside of the cell. In this type of environment, water would just move back and forth across the membrane. This is called dynamic equilibrium, and cells in this situation remain the same size, neither gaining nor losing water volume. If a cell found itself in an environment of pure water with no salts, the concentration of water would be greater outside of the cell and lower inside of the cell. In this case, osmosis would cause the water to flow into the cell. Too much water flowing into the cell would cause it to burst and die. Plant cells have a cell wall that helps to maintain their shape and keep them from bursting in this sort of situation. Plant cells would have a central vacuole full to capacity with water, and the cell would be stiff or turgid. Conversely, if a cell finds itself in very salty water, the concentration of water would be higher inside the cell and lower outside of the cell. Water would flow out of the cell, causing it to shrivel up and die. The central vacuole in plant cells would empty out, and the plant would look wilted and could die. You can see why it is so important for cells to live in the right environment, where water concentration is roughly equal inside and outside of the cell.